The hidden world below deck. Behind every smiling crew member and every perfect buffet lies a world most passengers never imagine. A world running silently beneath the decks, built on precision, psychology, and long hours few outsiders ever see. Cruise ships are often called floating cities, but what's less known is how tightly that city is controlled. From the moment you book your trip, the experience is designed to keep you happy, calm, and spending. It all begins before you even step aboard. When you make your reservation, the system quietly begins building a digital profile of you. Your age, dining choices, cabin location, even your payment preferences. It all goes into an algorithm that predicts what kind of guest you'll be. By the time you arrive at the terminal, the ship already knows you. That small plastic cruise card or wearable medallion isn't just your key. It's a tracking device that logs where you go, what you buy, and how often you return to your cabin. For most travelers, this sounds convenient. You can walk into a bar, order a drink with a tap, and never think twice. But former crew members say this system goes far beyond convenience. It's the foundation of how the cruise operates. Bartenders are trained to memorize top-spending guests before the first night begins. Stewards share informal votes about which passengers are polite, demanding, or likely to tip well. Even dining staff quietly track who requests the same table, who compliments the food, and who complains. It's not malicious, it's management. The result is what the industry calls personalized hospitality, a kind of invisible choreography where every move feels perfectly timed. When your drink appears before you even ask for it, you might think, wow, they remember me. And they do, because they're expected to. Crew are told that recognition builds loyalty, and loyalty builds profit. Here's the part most passengers never realize. On a cruise ship, your reputation travels faster than you do. There's no official blacklist, but information moves quickly through the crew network. If you're kind, patient, and fair, word spreads. If you're rude, aggressive, or constantly demanding, that spreads too. Former staff confirm that high-value guests often get small perks, an upgrade, a surprise dessert, a better seat. Meanwhile, problem guests might find their requests handled more cautiously. It's not punishment, it's quiet self-preservation in a closed community. Now let's talk about the casino, the bright, buzzing heart of every ship. To most passengers, it looks like fun. Free drinks, flashing lights, lucky winners celebrating with champagne. But according to several former dealers, cruise casinos run under a very different system from land-based ones. Once the ship sails into international waters, the machines can legally operate under looser standards. The odds can be adjusted remotely through a central server. Perfectly legal, perfectly profitable. So while you can still win, the average payout is often lower than what you'd find in Las Vegas or even a roadside casino. The house always wins, but at sea, it wins faster. If you enjoy gambling, think of it as entertainment, not opportunity. Set a limit before you start, and when it's gone, walk away. Because the biggest secret of the cruise casino isn't cheating, it's psychology. The lights, the sounds, the near misses, all designed to keep you playing longer than you planned. Now let's move to something that looks innocent, the food. That endless buffet feels like the freshest meal you've ever seen, but behind the scenes, it's a miracle of logistics. With thousands of passengers and a limited space, most cruise kitchens rely heavily on frozen goods. Seafood, meats, breads, and pastries often arrive pre-prepped and are thawed or finished on board. It's not bad, it's efficient. But it also means the fresh lobster tail on your plate was likely frozen weeks earlier. Crew members admit that even simple breakfast items like scrambled eggs often come from liquid mixes rather than cracked shells. Again, it's about scale. You can't cook 3,000 individual omelets from scratch every morning. The trick for passengers who want the best meals: go to the made-to-order stations. Pasta, omelets, stir-fry. Those areas serve truly fresh ingredients, cooked right in front of you. And while we're on the topic of food, there's another unspoken truth. Specialty restaurants aren't just for luxury. They're the only places where the ingredients match what the brochure promises. If you're celebrating or just want a memorable dinner, paying extra for that meal is almost always worth it. By now, you've started to see the real picture. Your vacation isn't random. It's carefully designed, from your dining habits to the smile that greets you in the hallway. It's not sinister, it's business. And the more you understand that, the smarter and calmer your next cruise will be. So, next time a bartender remembers your name, smile back, because you now know the secret. Nothing on a cruise ship happens by accident. The hidden costs of paradise. Once you step off the cruise ship and the warm breeze hits your face, it feels like pure freedom. But what most travelers never realize is that this is where the real business begins. Behind every free offer, every smiling tour guide, every perfect postcard moment, there's a system quietly designed to make you spend more, trust more, and sometimes risk more than you should. Let's start with those famous free perks. Free champagne at the art auction, a complimentary spa consultation, an invitation to a no-cost wine tasting. It sounds generous, and for many first-time cruisers, it feels like a gift. But to former crew employees, these are called conversion events. That means they're built to turn curiosity into profit. Here's how it works. You walk into the art auction because it's quiet and offers free drinks. The room is elegant, the host charming, the atmosphere exciting. Before you know it, you're bidding on a print you don't even remember seeing clearly. A former auction assistant once said, "Our job wasn't to sell art. It was to create a moment where logic switched off." Couples who only planned to browse ended up leaving with thousands of dollars charged to their cabin account. The same happens in the spa. That free consultation is really a sales session. Smooth-talking therapists recommending detox wraps or anti-aging packages that can cost more than your entire cruise fare. Even the wine tasting ends with a gentle but firm push to buy an overpriced bottle exclusive to the ship. There's nothing illegal about any of it, but it's not generosity. It's strategy. So enjoy the freebies. Take the glass of champagne, listen politely, but leave your card in your pocket. You're not being rude by saying no. You're being smart. Next comes shore excursions, the highlight of every cruise, stepping off the ship into a new world. Jungles, ruins, beaches, markets. But what passengers rarely see is the complicated network behind those tours. Most are run not by the cruise line itself, but by third-party operators who pay a commission to access guests. And in some countries, safety rules are flexible or non-existent. Former excursion coordinators have shared unsettling stories: unlicensed drivers, old buses without seatbelts, guides with minimal training. They recalled a passenger who slipped on a trail during a rainforest hike and was left covering all hospital bills through personal insurance. The cruise company refunded the excursion and moved on. There's one golden rule that every crew member repeats. If you book through the cruise line, the ship waits for you. If your official tour runs late, they'll delay departure. But if you go off with a cheaper independent group and your taxi breaks down, you'll watch your ship leave without you. Thousands of passengers learn this the hard way every year. So, if you're staying close to port, a private tour is fine. But if your adventure takes you far inland, the extra cost of booking through the cruise line is not a luxury. It's your insurance policy. Now let's talk about something no one likes to imagine: theft. Cruise ships feel safe. Calm music, friendly faces, keycard locks everywhere. But behind that calm surface, theft happens more often than most realize. According to former ship security officers, minor incidents, missing jewelry, wallets, electronics, are quietly handled to avoid panic. Unless it's a major loss, most cases are resolved with an insurance form and an apology. The priority is always the ship's image, not confrontation. So, how can you— The eyes of the ship. You've unpacked, explored the decks, and started to relax. But even as you sip your drink and watch the sunset, the cruise ship around you is quietly alive, not just with passengers, but with data. Because in 2025, cruise ships are more than floating hotels. They are floating networks, smart, connected, and always watching. Every passenger card, every medallion, every swipe at the bar or tap at the gift shop, it all feeds into a system that tracks movement, spending, and preferences in real time. A former guest services officer described it simply: if you tap, they know where you are. That little plastic card isn't just your room key. It's a digital passport, one that tells the ship who you are, what you buy, and even when you tend to leave your cabin. The system isn't evil. It's efficient. It helps bartenders remember your favorite drink and dining staff greet you by name. But it also means you are part of a quiet experiment in customer control, one that started years ago and has become almost invisible today. Behind the scenes, staff can pull up your account in seconds. What excursions you booked, what time you went to dinner, what games you played, how much you spent. If your card ever declines or your tab goes unpaid, the system can lock your purchases instantly. You'll still be treated politely, but you'll notice the smile tighten just a little. For guests who spend freely, the same system works in reverse. Special perks start to appear: a bottle of wine waiting in the cabin, a handwritten note, or an invitation to a private cocktail party. It feels like magic. In truth, it's math. So what can you do with this knowledge? Use it to your advantage. Track your own spending in the cruise app. Don't ignore unexpected charges. Ask about them early. And if something seems off, head to guest services right away. The staff appreciate calm, polite passengers more than anything. And when you treat them that way, they respond in kind. Now, let's go below deck one more time, to the parts of the ship you'll never see on a brochure. Beneath the glittering lounges and grand theaters lies a maze of corridors, stairwells, and steel rooms humming with quiet energy. This is where the real cruise lives, where the ship breathes. Down here, hundreds of crew members work around the clock, cleaning, cooking, sorting luggage, checking safety systems. Every hallway looks the same. No windows, no sunlight, just fluorescent light and the hum of engines. For most crew, this is home for up to 10 months straight. One foremost steward said, "You stop knowing what day it is. The ocean becomes background noise." And yet, in those lower decks, there's also laughter, friendships, and pride. Crew from 40 different countries share meals, stories, and photos of families they haven't seen in months. It's not easy, but for many, it's a path to something better. That's why kindness matters more than you think. When you say thank you to a tired steward, when you tip your waiter in cash instead of signing a slip, when you smile at the person sweeping the deck at 2 a.m., it doesn't just make their day, it changes how you're remembered. Crew members talk. They notice who treats them well, and on ships, word spreads faster than the tide. A kind passenger's name can travel from deck to deck, and sometimes it comes back as small acts of grace.
An extra dessert, a quiet upgrade, or a sincere smile that says, "We remember you." Now, let's lift the curtain on one last secret, the one that longtime cruisers cherish the most. Every ship has hidden spaces, places that don't appear on the maps, known only to those who explore. A quiet lounge tucked behind the art gallery, an open deck at the bow where the wind feels stronger and the noise fades away. A tiny observation nook that catches the sunset just right. Ask a friendly crew member where they go to think or breathe. They'll often share their secret spot. And here's the ultimate insider tip. If you love peace and quiet, stay on board when everyone else goes ashore. When thousands of passengers rush out for excursions, the pools, spas, and restaurants become nearly empty. The ship feels private, like it belongs to you alone. You'll sip your coffee under open sky with no lines, no noise, and no rush. That's when you truly understand why people keep coming back to the sea. So, now, after all the secrets, the hidden systems, the unseen lives, what's the truth? Cruises aren't perfect. They're complex, carefully managed worlds built to balance profit, pleasure, and performance. But if you know how to move through them with awareness and respect, they reward you with something few other vacations can offer: time that truly slows down. When the ocean stretches out to the horizon and the engines hum below your feet, all the technology and systems fade into the background. You remember why you came: to feel free, to rest, to see something beautiful before it's gone. That's the real secret of cruising. Not what happens behind the scenes, but what happens inside you. Sail smart, be kind, and enjoy the voyage, because the best journeys aren't just about where you go, but how deeply you notice along the way.